No time for a script today, guys. There simply isn't time.
Come on, let's go!
I was going to wait to make this video, but then I heard word that the Xbox podcast was going to do a deep dive, and I thought I should wait and see if there's a little bit more additional information. There wasn't, really. It was 25 minutes of
adventure. We are making a proper adventure game. Classic matinee action adventure. Many other action adventure games.
We wouldn't want to work on an Indiana Jones game.
Right.
I think overall, still very excited for this. You know, there's going to be a new Indiana Jones game. I think it's been probably more than 10 years since our last Indiana Jones game. But I'm a little worried. I'm a little worried, if I'm being honest. I'm worried because of the footage that we saw of Indy climbing up a wall and his whip not being connected to anything and dangling in real time. I'm worried because we're 6 months from the end of the year and we do not have a release date.
Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. When are we going to be able to play it?
You're going to be able to play this game later this year, and we are super excited about it and very much look forward to people's reaction.
The official Bethesda blog reported that the most recent trailer should have had the announcement of the release date. And that worries me, I guess, because how was the memo dropped? Is the release date super solid and it was just like a fluke? Or are we talking like it's like a really messy business making this game and they really want to delay it to 2025 and they just didn't have the wherewithal, or they wanted to wait just in case? I think Kyle Bosman just put it well in his showcase review of the game, doing a breakdown of the cutscene, that it was a very interesting choice what they chose here to show, to showcase the game and sort of sell it.
Alright, so as you can see back there, Indy and the Choo-Choo Nazi are brawling. We get another shot of this just zoomed in. Indy on the left, Choo-Choo on the right. They kind of spin, but then we get this zoomed in shot where Indy is still on the left and Choo-Choo still on the right. They both suddenly hear the slow moving box at the same time. Cut to this weird angle. Indy's on the right now just to keep you super disoriented.
I think it's funny that they talked this big game of being really like painstakingly accurate to the films, and they have this mannequin of like all the Indy stuff, and yet I'm totally a stickler here, but they've chosen to have Indy's satchel above his coat like he wears in the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull and the Dial of Destiny. But they've made a big deal about this game taking place between Raiders and the Last Crusade. And it's like one of those like basic, you know, if you're someone like me who like cosplayed as Indy like growing up when you were less than 10 years old, it's like you wear the satchel beneath the coat. Like that is the classic Indy look, especially if you're hearkening for the original trilogy. It's such a small detail, but if you can miss such a small detail, is there something else that's going to be missing here? Or is that just like the bold take and I just don't understand the genius behind the decision? Maybe I don't. Maybe it's just going to be, it's all going to be great. It's all going to be fine. And I'm simply overreacting. You know, I think a lot of the discourse seems to be around, we haven't seen much of the gameplay. And I would definitely say that is very strange for a game that's going to be coming out in the next 6 months. I guess it's another thing that has me worried, is that they have not showed us an extended piece of gameplay. And it's like, are we in a place where they're just being very coy and very mysterious and have so much faith in the game that it's going to be, you know, brilliant and wonderful and perfect? Or, like, again, is it a mess behind stage, and all we have are, like, cinematics and cutscenes and little test reels because an extended amount of gameplay is sort of held together by popsicle sticks and glue at this point? They say they want it to be more puzzly and that there's not going to be a focus on gunplay, and it's like, I see the punching, I see the hybrid third-person sections, and I see this is made by Machine Games, and I'm like, okay, so this is going to be Indiana Jones and the Escape from Butcher Bay. I don't know if there is a more firm leg to stand on if I was a betting man of what this game's going to be like, given the pedigree and stuff. I do think the choice of first person is interesting. They really make a big game of this being like a very intentional, creative choice.
We strongly believe that the first-person perspective is what makes this experience the most immersive.
And I can kind of see that because it's controversial, but like the amount that they talk it up is like one of those things where I wouldn't have second guessed it, but they're like really hammering home that they really meant to do this, and that makes me somehow less confident, and kind of makes me go like, okay, Machine Games, like, I don't think you've made a third-person game.
Since first-person games are very much part of our pedigree here at Machine Games.
Can you not make a third-person game? Can you guys only make first-person games? And it's just so interesting. Why did they have that footage of the whip not working? Why is that footage you would put in this game that is coming out this year? If it were more polished, is there not a take of the gameplay where the whip is functionally sticking to what it's supposed to? Like, guys, I'm gonna buy this so hard. I am so desperately excited for this, to have a new Indiana Jones video game. I don't know if I can emphasize that enough. Like, I do not own an Xbox Series X, but I'm so hoping for a Indiana Jones themed console, because I am so, like, this is a system seller for me. This is 100% like, I would never buy an Xbox in 100 years, but you got me. Indiana Jones is only on your console, I'm buying that console, 100%. But it's like, in spite of that, I am so worried about this game. I'm so worried about so many of the things. It's just like that game promotional thing. Like, if you've watched E3, if you watch Summer Games Fest even, like, there's just those things that you see that it's like, ooh, red flag, what's going on here? And this is really tripping a worrying amount of those for me. So I hope it's great. I really hope it's great. And I'm going to buy it. This is like the one brand that I support blindly like this. I'm going to buy this game. And I just really hope it's good. I really hope it's functional. Is it a possibility that they totally know what they're doing, everything's fine, and we're going to get an announced date because they just can't decide if it's going to be October, November, December, and it's going to be announced within the next 3 months? Maybe. Hopefully that's the case. Oh boy, I didn't notice that they, when they're showing the concept art, they only show the lady in her street clothes and in her winter gear. I guess that's another possibility that this could be a very, 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 very tiny, polished game, kind of like The Order 1886. Of like, it's a 4-hour game and it's functional, but there's like absolutely no replay value. It's a totally functional game. You can play it from start to finish, but it's just 4 hours, and it's very, very linear pathed. With some puzzles, which I suppose would, I suppose that would make it have more similarities with sort of the classic adventure games. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. What do you guys think? Do you think that Indiana Jones and the Great Circle will come out this year? Do you think they'll be able to make that coming 2024? Or do you think it's a very safe bet that it's going to be delayed till next year? Let me know in the comments below, and I guess we'll see what happens.
Was ist das? Choo-choo! Choo